the Mystery Mouse Knitting Podcast. My name is Holly, and I'm coming to you from Colorado, where I live with my husband David and our 5 kids and our many pets. And Happy New Year to everybody. It's 2023, and I'm so excited for the new year. It's so nice to have a fresh start, and I am really excited about podcasting this year. I'm really hoping to be able to put up a new video every 2 weeks this year, or twice a month. So that's my goal. It's one of my New Year's resolutions. I always do New Year's resolutions. I know that not everybody does. Some people don't like that pressure or feeling like they're going to disappoint themselves. A lot of people do a word of the year, but I really feel like having something written down that you can go back and see if you accomplished is very satisfying, even if you don't get them all. So that, anyway, that's one of mine. So my coffee mug today, I don't think I've used this coffee mug yet. It's starting to like fall apart on the wrap is coming off, but my husband bought this for me a long time ago for my birthday, and it says it'll turn out all right in the end, you'll see, which is a quote from Mrs. Potts from Beauty and the Beast. And I wanted to use this one today because I finished my Mrs. Potts inspired faucet, which I am wearing. I finished the sleeves. As you can see, I'm just wearing it with a shirt because it's really cold today. I really love it. It's definitely, it's cropped. I kept it cropped. I think I did it a little longer than it was in the pattern, but this is a pattern by Devin Ventry of Knitty McPurly, and I dyed the yarn myself, and I really, really like how it turned out. I think I'm going to be wearing this a lot, especially in the spring. I can definitely see myself knitting more of this pattern. It was really fun and interesting to do, and I highly recommend it. It's a DK, and I just knit mine in 100% merino DK. And it's 3 colors, so I have the gold and a very light purple, and this yellow and blue, no, not yellow, pink and blue speckles. And I think I did purple speckles too, which I should not have done because it blends a little bit with the purple, the light purple, but actually I don't mind it. It looks fine. And so that's that. I have finished so many things. I'm kind of like, I know I'm gonna forget stuff. I finished 2 pairs of socks. I actually finished, wait for it, folks. I finished the 70s striped socks for my husband. Those have been on my needles for like 2 years, maybe longer, at least 2 years. I mean, I was looking back in my little knitting diary, which I had totally stopped writing in. More about that later. But I kept seeing 70 striped socks like every month, and it was, so I decided I'm gonna get these done for Christmas. I'll try to put a picture in. And I didn't get them done to put in his stocking because I kept thinking, oh, I just have the heel to do or whatever, and I didn't get them done. But I finished them on Christmas Day, so he did have them on Christmas, like in the evening I finished them. And so those are done. And I finished a pair of socks for me in my Poirot colorway. I will try also put a picture of those in. And those I also did with an afterthought heel, but I just did them all in the same color, which I never do. I always do contrasting heels. So that was fun just because it was really different. And I really like how those turned out. The leg is a little shorter than I usually do just because I thought if I do this leg long, I'm never gonna finish these socks. So I did a little shorter. And I do think I like my legs a little longer of my socks, but those will be nice for when it's warmer anyway. And those are done in a broken rib pattern, and I think they look really nice. I can imagine that I'll probably be doing some more broken rib socks just because I really did like those. What else did I finish? I finished Grady's red sweater, which it's been worn a lot by babies, so it's a little rough. But, and the hood is huge. I probably could have made it a little smaller. My kids never have huge heads. You know how some babies have really giant heads? My kids are more, I don't know, proportional, like, not like a baby, but just like a, I don't know. Anyway, he doesn't have a huge head, but it fits him really well. And I think there's plenty of room for him to grow. If I need to make it a little bigger, I can lengthen the body. The body doesn't actually have any ribbing on it. It just starts right away in the cable pattern. So I think I could pick up stitches and knit some ribbing down if I wanted it to be longer, because I think that's where it's going to run out first. The sleeves are actually a little bit long still, and of course the hood, like I said, is really big. So I do have a little bit of yarn left if I need to do that, maybe for next winter, but he's wearing this all the time. This is like his coat or his jacket a lot of times when we go out. So I'm so glad to have that done. Even though it's for a baby, there was cables and it was sport weight yarn and very densely knit on, I think, size 2 and 3. And so it just, those kind of knits always seem to take a long time for me because, I don't know, I guess it's not that I'm a slow knitter, but I'm always knitting a lot of things. And unless I really put my head down and focus, it's hard for me to finish sometimes these things. Okay, so is that all my finished objects? So I had 2 pairs of socks, 2 sweaters. Oh, yes, I have another thing. I haven't woven in the ends yet, but I finished my granny stripe blanket. So let me start at the beginning here. This is where I started with this very light, and I did this with mostly 10-gram minis and some leftovers. But it was getting to be like, it got past, I think it's a little past the square stage. It's a perfect lap blanket size. And so I thought, well, I'm just going to finish this because I didn't want it to be too long. And I don't know, I want to start another one maybe. And it's just, this was really fun to just play with the colors. When I started, I didn't really have a plan. And I started with a lot of pale, kind of earthier colors. And I just kind of picked whatever I felt like doing next. But as I went on, I decided, okay, let's pull a color from the yarn before, and I did this rainbow section in the middle, which is really pretty. I decided let's pull a color from the yarn before, and that gave it a really like pretty gradient look. And I just really love how it turned out. So I don't know if I'm going to do like something in the same vein or something a little different. I tried to only use speckles and variegateds in this blanket because I didn't want to have real harsh lines. So I don't know, but I'm excited to use this. I think it's going to go on the back of my knitting chair because I often notice when I'm sitting there that I need a little something warm on my lap, especially if there's no cat sitting on me, which there often is, but not always. So anyway, that is that. I really enjoyed making this blanket. I've always said in my other episodes, it's really nice to be able to crochet. I am not an excellent crocheter or very a crocheter with wide experience. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm doing, but it's really nice to just do something simple like this that has a completely different set of movements if you get tired of knitting. So that is that. Okay, I want to talk about my works in progress and my Christmas presents, at least those that are knitting and book related. And then I've got book talk, which will probably segue into book talk. So works in progress. Let's see. I have a book there. I'm working on 2 other pairs of socks. These are both in my bunny bag from Sandy by the Lakeside. And they probably each need their own bag, but I am working on a sock out of my Redwall colorway. This is a sock set I did inspired by the Redwall book series by Brian Jakes. And I wanted to do something a little different, so I decided to do some stripes with the mini skein instead of just doing the heel and toe. I might also do either the heel or the toe in the contrast color, but I just did 3 stripes up at the top, and I'm hoping for it to be sort of a sporty sock look, and I'm just going to continue with the red down the leg. So that's what those are looking like. And let's see. And then I have this skein of yarn that I got at the Interweave Yarn Fest marketplace in the spring. And this is from Canon Hand Dyes, and it's called the Bull and Blossom, which sounds like a pub name, so I'm not sure what it's inspired by, but I just thought it was really pretty and something that I don't know, I've never dyed a yarn that looks like this, you know. It was very different from what I usually do, so I was really interested in it. And this is how it's knitting up. I'm just doing a plain vanilla sock with that. So I really like how that's coming out. And I think this is a stellina yarn. It looks like it has gold stellina, so it's really sparkly. So those are nice. I always like to have something really plain to knit on, you know, of course, to go out, but also I knit on these in church a lot. And if I don't have something to knit in church, I feel like, kind of panicky. Okay. So those are the socks. And then I am still working on my sample. This is from my advent calendar that I put out this year for Mystery Mouse Yarn Company. We did a 12-day Sherlock Holmes inspired advent calendar with full skein on the Christmas day. So it looks like a bag. This is my advent calendar. I designed a pattern to go with it, and I had some fabulous test knitters that knit the whole thing, and so I decided, well, I'm gonna knit my own with the actual yarn from the advent calendar so that, you know, I have it as a sample and all of that. So I am waiting for a bigger needle because I picked up all of the stitches around the edges and it's a lot, and my little needle is like it's really crunched up. So I have ordered another needle. It's supposed to get here today, and I will be continuing to work on this because I want to get it done and have that sample, and then I will be releasing this pattern to the public. It's called the Victorian Bookshelf Wrap. It's a rectangular wrap with a stripy middle, perfect for your advent yarn, and a border with lace, and then you can do, if you want, you can do some embroidery on your books to make them look, or your stripes to make them look like books. And I am very excited about it. I can't wait to have it done. It was a lot of work, and it will be really nice to have it completely finished. I'm really excited too about doing the like photo shoot, because my daughter Ivy, who's 10, is going to be my model, and we have an amazing lace dress for her to wear with this. So that is that. I also, in a little while, I will be talking about some of the other stuff that came with my advent calendar. I partnered with another maker to bring some stitch markers to my advent calendar, and I will be showing you those in a little while if I can extract them. Let's see, new cast-ons. I have been dying to knit this pattern by Knitty McPurly. It's called the Everywhere Sweater, and it's a twisted rib, bulky weight, held with mohair cardigan. And she came out with this probably, I don't know, around Thanksgiving or sometime in the late fall. And I really wanted to knit this, and I was going back and forth about what yarn to use. I was thinking about using, since it's bulky weight with mohair, I had to order some bulky weight. Then I thought, should I just do the bulky weight undyed and use like my October colorway? So it was kind of a pastel rainbow thing, and just to see how that changes the look of it. But in the end, I decided, you know what? Every time I go to a store and I see a bright red sweater or cardigan usually, I'm like, oh, I wish I could buy that. But are you like this? I cannot buy a sweater that looks as if it has been knitted by a person, because people will be like, oh, of course you knitted that, didn't you? And you'll be like, no, I got this at, you know, whatever. And so I just can't do it. So I thought, I know that if I knit myself a bright red sweater, I will wear it all the time. So I bought the bare yarn, and I dyed this. Okay, I don't know why this is falling apart. Probably because I'm trying to show it on the internet. So I dyed this bright red yarn and mohair to match. So I've started this. I'm just knitting it on straight needles right now, but it's getting too big for straight needles because it starts from the top down, and of course it's increasing, and it's just getting too fat. So every time I get the whole thing in the needle, I'm like, stay down. But this is what it looks like knit up. It's so pretty. There's just nothing like hand-dyed yarn. It gives you that watercolor look where it's just like mottled. It looks like it's dappled with sunlight. So it's so pretty. And so this is going really well, but I also ordered a needle for this so that I could, because I didn't have, it calls for a 6.5 millimeter needle. And I only had that in straights. That's why I started it on straights. But I ordered an interchangeable 10.5 needle. That also should be coming in the mail today, so I can transfer that over, and I got a lot of work to do. I would really like to have this done in a couple weeks. In 3 weeks from yesterday, I will be going to the Knitty McPurly Cozy Mountain Lake Retreat in North Carolina. I'm very, very excited about that. I'm going to be teaching a class and vending. So I would really like to have this to wear for that. And let me show you. This is one of the things I got for Christmas. My friend Elizabeth made me this stitch marker. And it is so cute. It's red and green. It's a ball of yarn. And she is opening up an Etsy shop. It's called EB and Company. And I will be linking to that as soon as she opens it. I don't think she's quite ready yet. She's making stock. But she said she's going to make some of these in different colors. So if you have a favorite color you would love to have a stitch marker in, please put it down in the comments below, and I'll just pass that on to her. And you can design a little yarn ball stitch marker. But it's so cute. And there's also a skein one, like I said. Where is that? I should dig that out. Oh, and you know what? I never showed, I'm so disorganized. I never showed my, my Christmas Day color for my advent calendar was this. It's like a burgundy, pinky, purple, red. Anyway, I really like how it turned out. It's quite a, there's a lot of colors in here, so it looks really nice. But anyway, let me show you if I can find it. Here is the other one. It's this little skein. So cute. So she has the skein, or, you know, it's kind of like a ball of yarn like you would buy in the store with a ball band on it still and some needles stuck in it. They're so cute. And then the other one is like a ball of yarn. And then in my advent calendar, since I got this out again, in my advent calendar, we included 2 stitch markers that she made. One was this. Let me show this. I can't take it out because it's measuring, or it's showing my corners. It's a little doggy paw print. And this one, which is a beautiful butterfly. The butterfly we did in 4 different colorways, color combinations. So if you got my advent calendar, I would love to hear what which butterfly you got. There was this one. We had like little code names for all of them. This one was kind of like swampy colors, so we called it Kermit. And then we had a purple one, like a purple and white one, a red and gold one, and oh, what was the other one? Oh, a peachy and like minty one. Okay. So these were all, and the colors of my advent calendar too, were all named for to be clues as to what Holmes mystery we were going through. And of course, it is the Hound of the Baskervilles, which you should know by the doggy footprint. And also the bad guy in the Hound of the Baskervilles. Well, spoilers, if you haven't read the Hound of the Baskervilles, just skip. But the bad guy is a naturalist who catches butterflies. So there were a lot of butterfly themed things in the advent calendar, which was really fun. All right, I think I'm going to talk about what I got for Christmas. So first of all, my daughter Ivy wanted me to show you this. She got some perler beads for Christmas. So she says this is a yarn ball with needles in it. So she made that for me. One thing I got for myself, I got the Knitty McPurly 2022 Advent Calendar, and I really enjoyed it. We did, she has 25 10-gram minis, and she had 3 projects you could do with them. This is as far as I got. I did 1 mitten, mostly, except for the thumb, because I really wanted to like finish these and put these in one of my girls' stockings, but I did not get them done. So I'm going to be finishing those. These were the first project she had, which is a pair of mittens. They're very cute. They fit really good. And every time I go outside and start my car and it's freezing cold, I'm like, why haven't I finished those mittens? So I need to do that. She also had a hat with ear flaps and a cowl. And so I would really like to work on those. So a lot of these I've already balled up. I love this color. And then some of them, I think when I realized like, I'm not gonna make it any further, I just left in the little mini skeins. They're so cute. They're so teensy. So, but I really enjoyed having that. I loved having something to open every day. And of course, the yarn is beautiful. So I will be working on those things. Probably the winter continues. Let's see, what else did I get for Christmas? My husband got me this set of DPNs from Knit Picks, which I really needed. I actually told him at the beginning of the month I was starting that mitten, and you're supposed to do them 2 at a time. Well, I couldn't do them 2 at a time because I only had 1 set of needles that would work. And I was like, oh, I need to get more DPNs. So he bought me this, which was very sweet. So I'm sure I will be using these a lot. I do use DPNs. I always use them for socks, but I don't like magic loops, so I always use DPNs for like the tops of hats and stuff like that. My son Teddy, who is an amazing plushie artist, he's 14, he made this for me. love him so much. This is Baloo from Tailspin. Look at his tail. So cute. Anyway, he did not even have a pattern for this. He looked at pictures of other Baloo plushies on the internet and he figured it out. I mean, I think he's a genius.
Stop it.
He's like, oh, Mom, you're just my mom. But he is so cute. Tailspin is one of my very, very favorite shows from when I was a kid. I loved all those Disney afternoon shows. But Tailspin and DuckTales, Darkwing Duck. Yeah. But Tailspin's probably my very favorite. It's got that great vintage vibe because it's like, I don't know, it's very 1940s. Like there's no TV. They only have radio. Stuff like that. And they never say that, but I don't know. It's just got that feeling. So that is my very favorite. And this is one of my very favorite things I got for Christmas. Okay, what else? Oh, I think the rest is books. Oh, I did get a new ball winder from my my mother-in-law, David's mom, and her husband. They got me a ball winder, which I really needed because I just had the old Knit Picks ball winder, and it still works, but it's just getting really squeaky and wobbly, and I was afraid it was just going to give up the ghost one of these days. So I got a new ball winder. It's really nice. It's just from Amazon, I think, but it's one of those ones that has the arm that goes around it and it turns, and so it's quite fast. So that is very exciting, and I've used that several times already. Now, in my stocking, my husband got me this book. So as we transition to book talk, he, full disclosure, he was like, I got this for free when I bought something. But it's just a book journal, and I have in the past kept a book journal, but one of the things that I wanted to work on this year, one of my kind of New Year's resolution general areas, is that I completely stopped writing things down this year. Grocery list? No. To-do list? No. Calendar? No. What I did during our summer? No. I did not write anything down. I did not write down what I knit. I didn't write anything down. It was like I was so overwhelmed. We had an insanely busy year. And it was like I was so overwhelmed, I just couldn't write things down. So this year I have already started, like with our homeschooling, trying to just be more organized and be more, a little more scheduled, and it has helped so much. So I'm going to write down all the books I read this year. I need to start because I already finished a book. Well, I didn't start it this year, but I finished it this year in 2023. And that was The Nine Tailors. This is a reread for me, but this is an amazing book. I mean, it's a mystery, and it's an old book. I wonder what year it was published, because if it's not 100 years old, it's getting close. Oh, I can never find these things when I need to. Okay, here it is. 1934. So in just a few years, this is going to be a 100-year-old book. But it's so good. And the ending, the last couple chapters are just amazingly exciting. So I highly recommend this book. I wanted to read this in December because it starts around Christmas time. Actually, when I read it, I realized it started like around New Year's. But it kind of goes through a whole year and a little bit more. And it's just an excellent book. So I'm going to write that in my book journal. They have a section here. Well, they're for all the books you read. It has 100 spots. And then it just has a place for the title, start date, finish date, author, publisher, blah, blah, blah. And then a place for you to rate it and write your thoughts. And I just need to be more, I need to be able to focus more. And I think writing these things down will help me, because I am a very busy person and I get kind of flustered, I think. So now, some books that I got for Christmas and or bought for myself. Let's see. Related to the Dorothy Sayers, I got this for myself from Second and Charles, my used bookstore that I love. This is Dorothy L. Sayers' The Complete Stories. So this is all her short stories, not just the Lord Peter Wimsey, but she has some other characters that have short stories. Montague Egg, and I have always wanted to read the Montague Egg stories. I mean, his name is Montague Egg. So those must be interesting. And I think I probably have some of these in short story collections from Peter Wimsey, but I do not have some of these. So I'm very excited to read that. I bought 3 of these, and 2 of them, I think it was these 2. These 2 I saw in an antique store, and they were like $12-ish each. And I was so excited to see these because I have another one of these that was my mom's. It was a pink one like this, and it was a Tracy Scott one, and it was called Tracy's Little People. And I really like that book. I mean, these are those kind of 1960s girl occupation stories, you know, girls with jobs and what they do and their, you know, their lives, talking to the interns. But when I was little, I wanted to be a nurse because my grandma was a nurse. When I got older, I realized I'm terrible at science and would hate to be around when people died and stuff. So I was not a nurse. But that was such a good book. And I remember one of the things about it, I haven't read it in a long time, but one of the things I remember most about it is that there's like a car accident or something near the beginning, and Tracy has to perform like a, what's it called? A tracheotomy, so that someone doesn't suffocate to death. And so you know, they kind of go through how she does it. And so it was very, I don't know, it was really interesting and exciting, and at the same time, kind of a little shocking. So, so I got this one called A Very Special Girl. And then this one, Olympic Duty, which is about Penny Scott. So these must be 3 sisters because they're called Nurses 3. But I've only seen Tracy and Penny. Then I went on Thrift Book. And I just thought, I wonder if there's any more of those on Thrift Book. And lo and behold, they had this one. And I was like, Danger Island. Yes, let's get Danger Island. That sounds really exciting. Look at this little kid she's carrying to safety. So I'm excited to look at those. And of course, I have 2 daughters, so I can probably share those with them too. And thus justify to myself why I'm buying kids' books. But also I just really like them. So, okay. I saw 2 people talking about this book before Christmas. Someone that I follow on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Mystery Mouse Yarn, if you want to follow me on Instagram. But also Emily of Woldenburn, the Woldenburn Knitting Podcast. She was talking about this book too. So I was like, all right, that's it. I'm going to buy this book. So, because it's Miss Reed. Have you ever read Miss Reed? She is a country school teacher in England, of course. And I have a bunch of her books. Not a ton, because there are a ton. I have probably 5 or 6. But I always enjoy them. They're very relaxing, simple, sweet stories. And I don't know. They're kind of different. Well, in some ways, they're kind of different from what I usually read because they're not a mystery. But in some ways, they're very similar to what I read because they're old British books. But this one is called The Christmas Mouse. And you know how I am with mice books. So this is such a cute... I have already started reading this. I just started reading this today. But I took off the dust jacket and look at this book, how pretty it is. Look at the mouse. So cute. So anyway, I will be reading and enjoying this, even though it's not Christmas anymore. I'm always like ready for Christmas. By the time it gets here, I'm ready for it to come. But then as soon as Christmas is over, I'm sad. My brother and sister-in-law, Philip and Melissa, got this for us for Christmas because they know we love Dick Van Dyke. It's large print. I love autobiographies. I have quite a few autobiographies that I have read over the years. I have one from Lauren Bacall. That was really interesting. I have a Alan Lerner, who wrote My Fair Lady and Camelot and Gigi. He was the lyricist. I have an autobiography by Richard Rogers of Rogers and Hammerstein. I'm looking because they're over here. Let's see. And I have a few more biographies that I have never read, but I always find autobiographies very interesting because, of course, the person was there in their head and they knew everything that was going on. So I'm very interested to read this about Dick Van Dyke. And my husband got this for me, this big book about the Carpenters. When I was in high school, I bought a 2 CD set of the Carpenters. It was like the Carpenters' Greatest Hits or something like that. And I loved those CDs so much. I mean, I was born kind of after the Carpenters era was about over. And of course, I don't remember popular music from when I was like 3 or whatever. But I did grow up with this music, and I really loved it. And it's interesting because Richard Carpenter, of course, is still alive, and so they've interviewed him and used him as a resource. And I think he is a musical genius. I really do. So I'm excited to read that. And there's a lot of great pictures in there too. I'm sure there are some things I have forgotten to show you. I have worked some on my Beauty and the Beast sweater. I finished the Mrs. Potts finally, but now I have to decide what I'm going to do with the rest of the sweater. If I want it to be plain, if I want to add another motif around, if I want to do an all-over color work, because I think I would like any of those things, and I just need to decide what to do. I'm trying to think. Okay, so now just for a little life update, some things that are going on with us. We had a great Christmas. I did film a little bit more for like a Christmas vlog, but I never put it up or put it together or anything. So I think I'll put a little bit of that footage at the end of this episode, just to kind of be able to use it. And you can kind of see a little bit of our holiday festivities. We had a very nice Christmas. It was on a Sunday. So I'm the choir director at our church. So we did our choir program that morning, and that was really fun and special. And then, of course, we went home and we had Christmas dinner with my parents. We opened presents, and we had just a very nice day. And then we went and saw the play White Christmas on the 29th at a dinner theater that's near us. That was so much fun. I love that show and the music. And it was beautiful. And we celebrated my daughter Mary's birthday because her birthday is December 31st. And she turned 9. And that was really fun. And then we had a really nice New Year's. Something interesting. We started school right away after New Year's because we took off a lot of time in December because of the Christmas Carol play that we did, and then we got sick in the middle of the month, and so we just needed to get back into it. And it's really nice to be back in a routine and have stuff going on. But I have a lot to do in the next couple weeks getting ready for the retreat. I have to work on my class that I'm teaching. I'm teaching a class on altering knitting patterns because you guys know I do that a lot. And so I'm going to be teaching a class about that. I have to figure out, mostly I need to figure out how to fill my time because the class is an hour and a half long. I'm sure if I get done early, it's not the end of the world, but this is not like the kind of class where you're doing hands-on like actual knitting. So I need to figure out how to fill the time and not just be talking for an hour and a half because I just don't think I could do that. And then I need to dye yarn. I'm going to have a retreat exclusive colorway I'm really excited about. I already kind of know what I want to do. And I'm also going to introduce my Murder, She Wrote collection at the retreat. And then, of course, that will be available after when I get back. I will make sure that that's available in my Etsy shop, which is Mystery Mouse Yarn Company on Etsy, or Mystery Mouse Yarn Co. You know how Etsy is very picky about shop names. So you have to type in Mystery Mouse Yarn Co. all run together and hope that it comes up. Anyway, so my shop will probably be going on vacation. Hopefully not until after the next episode of this podcast, because I'm going to really try to put out a new episode every 2 weeks. So please keep your eyes open. If you don't hear from me, please write me a comment and say, hey, thought you were going to put out another episode. Because I really need to, and I really want to. I would love to know if you have certain colors for those yarn ball stitch markers that my friend is making for her Etsy shop, which I will let you know when it opens. And I'd love to know what you are doing in the new year, if you are doing any resolutions. I always have lots of resolutions, lots of things I want to do. If you are doing New Year's resolutions, here is a little tip. Do SMART resolutions. I mean, you can do goals, which is the end result, but if you are going to resolve to do something, then you should do it SMART. You need to be specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and timely. So specific, don't just say, I want to read more books. Say how many books you want to read. Measurable also needs to be measurable. Action-oriented, you need to kind of write down the steps you're going to take. Realistic, obviously, don't do something that's not realistic. And timely, I think, has to do with it's going to be able to be done at the right, okay, how do I explain this? Timely is sort of this is the right time to do it, and also it's going to be able to be accomplished within the time allotted. Like, you can't at the beginning of the year say, I'm going to like with my bare hands build an entire house. You have to be able to accomplish it within the time span. So I try to do that always, and I think that keeps me from doing crazy resolutions or putting too much on myself, because I have to kind of go through those in my head and see if I'm doing them. So, all right, but I do wish you a happy new year, and I'm going to put that Christmassy footage in, and I will talk to you next time. Bye. Just licking off the frosting. for Christmas. It's falling apart. Look, here's the little family.
Did Teddy go get a shower?
Said he was going to.
Woof.
Is that a wolf? That is a wolf that has run away. I wonder who's looking for that wolf. Who is it?
Woof.
You need some help with your banana?
Yeah.
Here, let's reveal more banana. Here, pull this down. Pull it down.
Because we're revealing all the nanners.
Now, pull this side down. You can hold it a little bit lower. There. Okay, I'm all banana-ish. All banana-ish.
The danishes, though. With them all there now.
Don't eat the banana peel.
Okay.
All right. We missed some. All right, who comes over for Christmas? Who's this? It's the grandma and the granddad. And they call their family and sing Christmas carols. And they have a beautiful Christmas dinner. Huh?
Bye.
Well, they're just saying hello. Say hello. Can you say hello?
Except I don't go outside. Well, I hope not.
It's too late for you, kid. We're already in the house. We're gonna get you.
Okay, come and get me.
You're dead!
Didn't really hurt him that much, but.
Chicken.
Oh boy. Man, I feel really sorry for Marv's feet.
But he should probably look.
It's everywhere but down.
Right.
Is he gonna step on that?
Mom, why are you doing this? Just because I have it recorded.
Teddy, Toby, Ivy, Mary, Grady.
Look, Grady, it's your bear.
Thank you.
Mine is just a family. My favorite.
Mine's just as
Isn't that funny?
Family. Yay! Thank you.
And what's in my present?
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Wait, a Garfield thing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, my stocking is full to the brim.
This is yours. This is yours. Can I see mine?
Mom, on Christmas Day, it's okay to eat candy.
Sharon's